The relationship between Freud and Jung initially began in 1906 when Jung sent Freud his book Diagnostic Association Studies, where he frequently cited Freud's theories. Jung worked with Eugene Bloyer at the Sanatorium Burgelsee in Zurich, which had a reputation at the time of being progressive. Jung had read the interpretation of dreams and from that point forward attempted to integrate Freud's concepts into his own work. He also presented Freud's teachings to Bloyer. Jung praised Freud's work highly, citing fragment of an analysis of a case of hysteria in his Psychoanalysis and Association Experiments book from 1906. And he noted his admiration for Freud and his theories in the foreword of his book, The Psychology of Dementia Praecox, also from 1906. The first time Freud and Jung met in person was in 1907, and that marked one of the most significant intellectual relationships in the history of psychology. According to accounts from both of them, their first conversation lasted over 13 hours. Freud and Jung engaged in a passionate and productive collaboration and continued their correspondence for more than 7 years, writing to each other every few days with only occasional gaps because of illness or holidays. In 1910, at the Second International Psychoanalytic Congress in Nuremberg, the decision was made to found the International Psychoanalytic Association, or IPA, which would be an umbrella organization to coordinate the activities of the national and local groups. It would sponsor congresses and promote psychoanalytic publications. Freud was the undisputed founder, of course, but he's also acutely aware of external perceptions. In the anti-Semitic climate of the early 20th century Europe, psychoanalysis was vulnerable to being dismissed as a Jewish science, quote unquote. Almost all of its early supporters in Vienna were Jewish, and Freud himself had suffered from institutional discrimination that he felt was clearly related to his background. He therefore encouraged Jung to accept the position of the first president of the IPA. Freud saw in Jung the ideal heir, younger, non-Jewish, scientifically respected, a promising ambassador who might establish psychoanalysis beyond the bounds of Vienna's intellectual circles. Jung, in turn, regarded Freud as a pioneering figure who had opened up the unconscious as a field of scientific inquiry. For several years, Jung was one of Freud's closest collaborators. So a little bit about Jung. Carl Gustav Jung was born on July 26, 1875, in a small Swiss village on the shores of Lake Constance. He was the only surviving son of Paul Jung, who was a Protestant pastor, and Emily Preiswerk, who came from a family with a reputation for spiritualistic interests and mediumistic tendencies. As a child, Jung was introspective, solitary, and prone to a rich fantasy life. He kept his distance from other children and was deeply occupied with inner experiences that he only much later began to describe using psychological language. In his autobiographical work, Memories, Dreams, and Reflections, he recounts powerful early dreams and visions that shaped his understanding of the unconscious. He studied at the University of Basel, where he was exposed to a wide range of subjects, including archaeology, philosophy, and the natural sciences, before committing himself to medicine and then specializing in psychiatry. After university, Jung worked under Bloyer at the Burgelsee Psychiatric Hospital in Zurich, conducting pioneering work on word association experiments which aimed to uncover what he called emotional complexes, clusters of memories and ideas imbued with feeling that would later become central to his theory of the psyche. These experiments revealed that seemingly simple verbal stimuli could trigger measurable physiological and verbal responses, demonstrating the presence of unconscious emotional factors influencing conscious behavior. This empirical work provided a bridge between the laboratory and the clinical setting and cemented Jung's reputation as an innovator in psychiatric research. His early academic and clinical work led directly to his first major published contributions. His studies in word association from 1906 laid the groundwork for his concept of the complex and supported the idea that the unconscious content had a structured, dynamic impact on conscious life. Sabina Spielrein for a long time was practically written out of the history of psychoanalysis. For most of the 20th century, she appeared only in the margins of the stories told about Freud and Jung. Yet the recovery of her diaries, letters, and professional writings in the late 1970s revealed a thinker of striking originality whose ideas on destruction, sexuality, language, and child development anticipated some of the most important later developments in psychoanalytic and developmental theory. An examination of her early life, major works, and theoretical contributions shows that she was a pioneering analyst in her own right, whose intellectual legacy is still unfolding. Sabina Spielrein was born on November 7th, 1885, in Rostov-on-Don in southern Russia, into a well-educated Jewish family. Her father, Naum Spielrein, was a successful merchant and later an industrialist. Her mother, Eva Lubinska, was highly educated and practiced as a dentist. The household was multilingual and intellectually engaged. French and German were present alongside Russian, and there was a strong emphasis on cultural refinement and academic excellence. Yet there were also significant tensions. By most accounts, her father Naum was a strict, sometimes harsh figure, and domestic conflict was frequent.